Have you ever been manipulated? I know there's a game that kids play all the time called Have You Ever, or I Have Never, or however they say it. But the idea is that you list off the things that you've never done. You never smoked pot, never been to jail, never, whatever it is, right? But I wonder if you would actually be willing to say, I have never been manipulated. I've never had somebody kind of cause me to do something that otherwise I wouldn't do, whether it was caused by a group of other people, we call that peer pressure, or it was one individual who kind of played a game on us, played a trick on us, and caused us to do something that otherwise we would have never done. Have you, as a leader or a team member, ever been manipulated? Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I have to be honest and say I don't know anyone who can honestly say I've never been manipulated. You know, there are songs about the games we play. There are all kinds of stories, from greeting cards to romance novels to even movies like The Notebook, about the games we played, the manipulations, the way that we cause people to behave in a certain way, or ask them or inspire them to behave in a certain way so that we can kind of get what we want. Guys have been famous for it. In fact, in more of a crude way of saying it, I remember my uncle saying when I was a teenager, I think I was 13, maybe 14 or 15 when he told me this, he said, look, here's the challenge with a date between two people going on their first date. One is doing everything they can to get the other one's pants off, and the other one's doing everything they can to keep their pants on. And when he said doing everything they can, what he didn't mean was physically forcing, because that would be wrong in every sense of the word, but whether it's dinner and a movie, or it's a date night that, you know, flips all your little romantic switches, or it's just the right flowers. Whatever you're doing to get your way in somebody else's life, that is manipulation. Whatever kind of little tricks you play, gifts you buy, things you say, incentives that you offer to get your way, to get someone else to do what they normally wouldn't have done, that is manipulation. The challenge for a lot of us is we see manipulation when it's being done to us. But when we're just trying to get our own way, we often don't see it as manipulation. Now, if you want to know who the masters of manipulation are, well, sure, you could look to Madison Avenue and the big advertisers. You could look to the people who spend millions of dollars, whether it's on social media or regular media, print media, or television, radio, et cetera, the billboards on the side of your car that make you hungry at dinner time, right? You've seen them. They drive through traffic, and the little sandwich with the steam coming off of it pops up on the roof of the car right next to you, and you're thinking, I didn't really want a sandwich until right now. Now I really want a sandwich. It's like when you walk through the mall, in the perfume store, there's somebody out there giving samples of perfume, or you walk by the Nestle Toll House store, and oh my gosh, that's just like, I mean, they may as well just have that big shepherd's hook, and put it around your neck and drag you in there, because the smell of chocolate chip cookies cooking, that's hard to resist for anybody, but that is a form of manipulation. So maybe you don't recognize it when you've been manipulated. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't recognize it when you manipulate others to get your way. When you say things that you know are only said for their benefit. When you use words and phrases that tickle something inside of them that really have very little bearing on truth, but they're really all about getting the reaction, good or bad, from the other person. Whether it's intentionally just to poke at them and make them angry, or to bring them to your side to do what you want to, either way, that's manipulation. Now, I do know that there are companies, especially when it comes to hiring and training salespeople, there are companies whose entire back office policy is written on the process of we get more of the behavior that we incentivize. So if you want to sell a particular product, increase the bonuses on it. You want to move this product out and add more of this product to the inventory, change the bonus structure, move it from over here to over there, and suddenly these products will stop selling and these products will start selling, and that is a manipulation of the behavior of your salespeople based on how they perform in order for you to change your bottom line. And it makes sense. It has to be done to some degree. The question is, if you're the kind of person who spends most of your life trying to get your way by pulling the strings, flipping the levers, pushing the buttons, twisting the knobs of other people emotionally, psychologically, you might be what they would call an influencer, but are you really a leader? Are you adding value to them and making their life better, or are you simply utilizing the skills that you have to manipulate them to get your own way, to make your own life better? Now that can be a serious indictment, especially if you find yourself guilty of manipulating other people. As leaders, our job is influence. Nothing more and nothing less. That influence to some may feel like manipulation because they don't yet know what they need to do. The old learning model says, I don't know what I don't know. And sometimes as leaders, we've got to give them the opportunity to become aware of something they didn't even know they wanted to become aware of. We've got to lay it out in front of them in an enticing or appealing way to inspire them to take action they otherwise would not have taken. That should not be done in a manipulative way. In a manipulative way, the intent is the difference. Is it about your good or theirs? If you're adding value to them, if you're making their life better, if you're causing them to see the world in another way, to their own benefit, to their own good, to their own long-term and short-term advantage, then you're doing a good thing. You're influencing them in a good way. If you're doing it only because it benefits you, whether it's your bottom line, it's your connections, it's your relationships, it's your own ego. If you're helping others to see your way for your own benefit, that, my friend, is manipulation. That's not good leadership. That's manipulation. If you want to be the kind of leader that people look back to and say, I was better off for having been led by that person, having worked on their team, having served under them, my life is better because of them. That's the kind of legacy you want to have. Don't do that with manipulation. You do that with solid influence for the benefit of others. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week.